Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. But Mark, we're going to move on into our last segment, and just one more thank you to Jeremy Brenner from Battle Red Blog joining us for that Deshaun Watson segment. It was great having Jeremy on, but we are going to end the podcast with a nice little topic. We're probably going to piss people off, or maybe, hopefully, joining with some basketball, kind of mixing the football and the basketball fans here for this one. But today, Tom Brady was asked about Michael Jordan, or talked about Michael Jordan, and here's what he said. Here's part of the quote that I'm going to throw out to you guys. And he said, and I quote, "I was in awe of Michael Jordan, and I still am in awe of what he was and what he meant. He was such an effortless player. He put a lot of effort in, and there's an art and a beauty to the way he played the game. That was a very inspiring thing," end quote. I am going to ask this question to you, Mark, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Tom Brady, possibly the GOAT when it comes to football.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I mean, he's on the GOAT edition of Madden for Madden 18.
Therefore
he's the GOAT. In basketball, I don't care what LeBron James fans say. I don't care what Kobe Bryant fans say. Michael Jordan, MJ, number 23, his airness will always be the GOAT for the NBA, especially in my mind. So we're going to have the kind of conversation today, and I will ask you first, will Tom Brady ever be greater than Michael Jordan? Will he be the all-time sports GOAT over Michael Jordan?
Well, the first thing I want to say, because I know it's in the comment section already. We just started and someone's already hit enter. We know they're different sports. We know it's a very hard comparison. We will get to that. But just to first of all answer the question, will he ever get to Michael Jordan level? No. He will not be able to get there. Part of the thing is that, a lot more is on the shoulders of Michael Jordan for the 90s Bulls than there is for Tom Brady. And football has a lot more team sport to it. Don't get mad at me, basketball fans, than basketball kind of did. And you could argue still does in this case. Where you can get a few all-stars together and they can dominate. Miami Heat. When they proved that 3 superstar players is enough. 3 superstar players is not enough in the NFL. So it's different in that kind of sense, that less is on Tom Brady's shoulder. I think that the other thing I really want to look at here is, I'm not denying that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time in football here, but when you look at the scope here, I look at 8 years, 6 playing years really for Michael Jordan here. And he knocks it out of the park.
Well, you're just looking at the 90s.
I'm looking at the 90s here of just when it was a dynasty, because I'm going to compare it to the New England dynasty. When it was a dynasty in Chicago, 8 years where, you have that little blank couple years in the middle. But
I think that even adds to it. Takes 2 years off, comes back, boom.
And does it again. But we have three-peat. When you look at the dynasty, and really it's 2 separate dynasties if you really want to think of it that way, for New England, just like the Chicago Bulls, the amount of success and the way the success is spread out, it's not where it's just 3 years that the New England Patriots absolutely dominated everybody and there's no questions about it. Even though they did have their back-to-back as well, it's just not as utter dominance, even when everyone is saying Bill Belichick is, one of the best, if not the best head coaches, Tom Brady, one of the best, if not the best quarterback out there. Even so, while this was happening, while this dynasty was going on, people were still saying Tom Brady might not be the best quarterback because Peyton Manning's there. Now people are saying, yeah, but maybe Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback. Nobody was saying, yeah, Michael Jordan's great and all, but is he really the greatest NBA player? That's not a debate people are necessarily having or were having really either. It's just that really what it comes down. It's a hard comparison to make, but Michael Jordan it's looking at a king and just, the guy, he's not the king of football. He might be the GOAT of the quarterbacks, but he's not the king of football.
You don't think he's the king of football?
No.
Who would you say is the king of football?
Aaron Rodgers.
You think Aaron Rodgers is the king of football?
Right now, he is the king of football. If you want to look at the real king of football all time, Joe Montana.
Okay. See, that to me is the conversation. If you're going to have just the football side of it, to me, the conversation comes down Tom Brady or Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, puts up great stats. How many Super Bowls does he have?
Un.
How many does Tom Brady have? Sean will tell you. He's got a full hand.
Yeah, right.
He can put rings on all of his fingers. You know who else could do that? And then some? Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
We've all seen the picture of him like this, and he's got rings on each hand, and then on, I think it's the index finger, he's got the extra one right here for number 6.
It's a tough problem when you just run out of fingers to put your rings on. I really think that the big thing people are gonna get at is comparing the NBA to the NFL.
Well, the NBA, it's more possible to be an individual.
Yes.
And to take over, of course, Tom Brady, I say, it's easier to take over a game in the NBA because you're on offense, and then when you switch to defense, it's not like, I'm going to go hit the bench. You guys go get him. However, I look at this last Super Bowl against the Falcons, and who took over the game? Tom Brady took over the game, and that's why they came back from 25 points down in that Super Bowl. But Michael Jordan dominated. And the one thing that I will say, that although if we're having the conversation, will Tom Brady ever be greater than Michael Jordan? No. Because, one, Michael Jordan, and I'll even admit I kind of fall into this all the time, he's got this mystique to him. He is the best. He took over the game. He, in the 90s, was, all you wanted to do was be like Mike.
Yeah.
And I remember being the song,
Mike.
Like Mike.
Yeah.
If I could be like Mike. And that's all you wanted. You wanted the Jordans. You wanted to be like Mike. I remember when Space Jam came out, I actually fucked up my knee as a kid doing this, but I had a little chair, little plastic toy chair, and I remember having the little Tykes hoop in my room. And what did I do? One foot on the chair, put the other leg behind me, stretched out like this, trying to stretch like Michael Jordan did. I fell and slit my leg, and I couldn't walk on it for about a week.
And that ended Ricky's basketball career.
That taught me never to stand on plastic chairs as a kid. But with Tom Brady, it doesn't help that, when the offense comes off, obviously he doesn't play defense, doesn't play both ways. But the one thing that both of these players do have, which make them great in their own right, is they have that kind of, that fuel, that fire. And the way I describe it is Michael Jordan, there's a distinct time where I'm like, if I ever want one quality, it's this. And it's when Michael Jordan came back from baseball. He actually came back midway through the 94-95 season. And they were in the playoffs against the Orlando Magic. He was wearing the number 45 because his dad had died, and he wanted to honor his dad. So he's wearing 45, and the Magic beat him in the playoffs. And the Magic just make this really stupid comment that Michael could hear. It's like, well, I guess he ain't 23 anymore. What did Michael do? Came out the next game with 23 on and toasted him. Straight roasted the Orlando Magic. Tom Brady has that same kind of fire within him as well that he can turn on at a single notice, i.e. this last Super Bowl. His team was down by 25. Boom, turned it on, won the game. Sean went from depressed, put him on suicide watch, to the happiest kid in the world. That is the two things that these two guys share, and that's what makes them great in their own right. However, yes, it's hard to compare these two, but if I had to, no. And one of the big reasons, and I'm not throwing this out there to be a troll or anything, but Michael Jordan 6-0 in championships. Never lost when he got to the finals. Tom Brady, and you could say, well, it wasn't his fault. Still lost 2 Super Bowls, both to the Giants.
Yeah. The hard thing with that is it really comes down to the nature of these two sports and why they're so different, and why I'm sure that debate's happening down below. But the fact that Michael Jordan got to be there for 2 of those games, Tom Brady had won those games, and then freak mysteries with Eli Manning, the Brady Slayer out there, was able to somehow sell his soul for a win or something, and could pull that off, and is the only man who can do it. That's really what it comes down to there. Of course, there's the other freak one with Russell Wilson and how Malcolm Butler's really the one who saved that one. But Tom Brady had those games won. It was the defense that nearly let him down, or did let him down 2 times in a row. So it's just one of these difficult things when you really want to dissect these 2 players and compare these 2 players, because the sports are so different of each other. What it really comes down to me is, if you look at the greatest of all time, you can look at specific positions, and both players are, of their positions, the greatest of all time. But when you look at their sports, without a doubt, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time when it comes to the NBA. Without a doubt is what I'm saying. People are going to yell at me down below. Okay, I've accepted that. Somebody's going to mention Larry Bird or something, or LeBron James. But when it comes down to the NFL, it is not a surefire, oh, yeah, without a doubt, Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time.
Well, and the thing that I am looking at right now is the playoffs. And the thing that you said earlier that I'm going to disagree with is, you looked at Michael Jordan and you said, I'm just going to look at those 8 years, basically the 90s. And I look and go ahead and say, I can't do that. And I know that his first 3 seasons technically made the playoffs, but he only played in 3 of them. And then the last 2 seasons in the 80s, he played the fair share, all of the playoff games for the Bulls, 10 and then 17, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to those Pistons in the year before I was born, in 1989. I have to look at all of that because overall, and this is, again, the 2 sports are different, but I look at this. 13 seasons of playoffs for Michael Jordan. The first 3 played a combined 10 games of the 3 in the playoffs. So, okay, he wasn't the Michael Jordan that we knew. And obviously the 94-95 season, he came halfway through. Still, Bulls made the playoffs because obviously the Bulls were a good enough team to make the playoffs without Michael Jordan, but he only played 10 games in those playoffs before the Bulls were eliminated by the Magic that year. And the thing that with Tom Brady, he has more playoff appearances, but it's like you mentioned, and with Michael Jordan, which what makes him so great is those 8 years. The 3 from 91 to 93. So basically 90-91 to 92-93. And then 95-96 to 97-98. Whereas Tom Brady, first 3 years in the league, our first 3 years that he played, because 02 didn't make the playoffs, but 01, 03, 04, his first appearances in the playoffs, boom, 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 Super Bowls. Yeah. Just won the Super Bowl each one of those years. Then you have 05 all the way until 2014, where he made it 05, 06, 07, off 08, 09, 10, 11, 12. So 08 was the only year he didn't make it. Oh, wait, guess what? What happened that year? He got injured, so he didn't play. That was the Matt Castle year. But you look at every other, there was that span of time, almost a decade, that Tom Brady didn't make the Super Bowl, didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was in the Super Bowl. He was in 2 of them because he lost to the Giants. But there was that gap of time where not only did he not make it to the Super Bowl in that gap, he lost 2 of them in almost a 10-year gap.
And I think that's such an interesting thing when you just look at these players. And, you know, when you're talking about who to compare it to, the reason why we put Tom Brady in there is because of his ability to lead, his just pure success. And it was this side of the table where I was sitting right here and Sean sitting right here. And him and I had this debate on why is it that Tom Brady is the GOAT when we will sit here and have the discussion. People will openly admit, and someone probably said it down below in the comment section, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time because of his success. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback, though. And that, to me, that blows my mind. And I will even say it. I will agree with it. But it blows my mind that we can say this quarterback is better, but this one is the greatest of all time. Even though this quarterback is better, that doesn't make sense to me how we can say that this guy can put up better numbers. If I want one of them in their prime, I'm going to take that one. But the other one's better.
Okay, let's be honest. So I'm taking anybody in their prime. I'm taking Tom Brady.
No, I would take Aaron Rodgers.
I'm taking Tom Brady in his prime.
If you put Aaron Rodgers on any of these Patriots teams, Super Bowl. If we switch places and Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the New England Patriots and Tom Brady of the Green Bay Packers, no one else would have ever won a Super Bowl. I'm being exaggerating here, but nobody else would win a Super Bowl.
But the thing with Tom Brady, and this is where I think he's got Aaron Rodgers beat. Aaron Rodgers, I can put him on every single team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Will not make the playoffs with every single team. I put Tom Brady on every single team, even the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, no, you are...
That Cleveland Browns team is making the playoffs.
No. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. He's a better quarterback. But he's not as successful of a quarterback, but he is a better quarterback.
And that's the thing I'm getting at, is Tom Brady, the thing that he has that Aaron Rodgers doesn't...
Is a better coach.
Is that winning. Well, some people may say that, Michael Jordan without Phil Jackson, what do you got?
Sure, but that's not the argument I'm making.
No, I know. But I'm even saying, even the guy that we're trying to compare Tom Brady to...
Yeah. But
has that same part of it, and part of it's vice versa too. How good of a coach is Phil Jackson because he is Michael
fucking
Jordan.
amazing,
and then he had Kobe Bryant.
But anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up of Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback. I think you have a better argument saying which one of these type of guys is better, or if you want to compare Montana, if you want to compare Brett Favre, these guys, the stat guys, Peyton Manning. Those are better comparisons when you just take out the success, because rings aren't all that matters, and that's something that always gets brought up as well. When you look at Michael Jordan, sure, the man's got 6 rings, but he also has 10 NBA scoring titles, 7 of which were consecutive. He has 6 MVPs in the finals. He, 866 consecutive games with 10 points or more. 1,463 free throws made in the playoffs. I mean, I'm just looking at the litany of records that Michael Jordan has held, and it's just incredibly impressive where you look at this and you just say, without a doubt, can you be better than Mike? Probably not.
Well, and that's the thing with Tom Brady. And I get it. We've said that football isn't just Tom Brady. It's more of a team sport than basketball. But within those years off from the Super Bowl, here's a very kind of interesting observation. The first year that happened, the 2006 playoffs after they won the Super Bowl, they go ahead and beat Jacksonville 28-3 in the first round. And then in the second round, go into Denver. Jake Plummer-led Denver Broncos beat them 27-13. That Super Bowl was eventually the one in Detroit that was Pittsburgh over the Seattle Seahawks. Then you go to the next year. Who do they lose to in the AFC Championship game? You should know, because this team then went on to play your Chicago Bears.
You shut your filthy mouth.
The Indianapolis Colts. And you want to know what's a funny thing about this Super Bowl? When the Bears started going on their roll, I predicted halfway through the season, Bears-Patriots, Bears win their second Super Bowl over the Patriots. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it. And
I wish.
I remember being, because I was in high school at that time, had a teacher kind of map everything out, and the similarities between that year and the 85 season eerily similar. Also, the first year the Patriots won their Super Bowl with Tom Brady, it was mapped up for that also, but it didn't happen. But who did he lose to at quarterback? Peyton Manning, who eventually went on to win the Super Bowl. Then the 2008 year, he doesn't make the playoffs, comes back the next year and did not make the playoffs in 2009, but in 2009, 2010, in the playoffs, go ahead and he loses round one, a upset game. Who went and beat him? The Baltimore Ravens. And there's kind of a little bit of a trend as you keep going, because we know what happens when you get into the 2000s, late 2000s. Peyton Manning and the Ravens were the two teams in the AFC that if there were any two teams that were going to beat Tom Brady, it was a Peyton Manning-led team, and it was a Baltimore Raven team.
Yeah.
The Steelers didn't really have a chance to beat them with the number of times that they played them, and the only team in the NFC that really had the Patriots' number, and I say have their number because they beat them twice the two times that they've seen them in the Super Bowl, is Eli Manning. Well, basically, a Manning. A Manning brother was Tom Brady's kryptonite.
They're equal. They're equal to each other. I just want to throw one more out there because I love this one. Most points in a playoff game, 63 for Michael Jordan against Boston.
That was in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I want to say
86.
that was before the championship run in the early 90s.
Yep. I just think, when you go
Michael Jordan knew how to take over the game.
When you go purely off of success, one guy's got 100% of his finals, the other one does not. I know that's something that a lot of people say, and it's not that simple, but that's an easy thing. When you start looking at records, Tom Brady just doesn't have them. He's got his own, but it's just not at the level that Michael Jordan has.
Well, and kind of the last question, this will sum up the Michael Jordan to Tom Brady. And
all right.
you were mentioning it, the 6-0. That's what people like to say, like myself. 6-0, perfect in the finals. Will Tom Brady be able to surpass 6? So will he be able to get 7 or more to where eventually we talk about, Jordan went 6-0, but Tom Brady's got 7.
Yeah. No, I don't think he will. I think they got a real good shot of winning this year. A really, really good shot, but there's a lot of good teams out there.
Back-to-back.
Yeah, it would be their second back-to-back, which is impressive. No doubt about that, and gives them a good, good few years in this. But with that being said, I can see them winning one more. I can't see him getting 7. 7 as much, especially because if you're a big fan of the podcast, you know my conspiracy theory. They are building up for this final year. I mean, they're giving Tom Brady
Polo is coming.
Yeah, they're giving Tom Brady everything he needs. Plus, he's on the Madden cover, so obviously the era of Garoppolo has begun. Garoppolo is here.
I hope Tom doesn't get injured.
But anyways, the other thing I want to say really quickly is a difference between these two, and people can say what they want about LeBron. I find it hard to believe that anybody will ever supplant Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time in basketball, kind of unanimously.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah, I say that no one's going to supplant Michael Jordan. No one's getting above him.
I think he's always going to be the GOAT.
Tom Brady, I don't doubt that somebody can get better than him because it's a passing league. And even though last onside kick, somebody said that running backs will make their comeback. I disagree. This is a passing league. There will be a quarterback that does more than Tom Brady.
Well, even look at it. There are so many. We have the Aaron Rodgers debate because Aaron Rodgers statistically
is a better quarterback,
better than Tom Brady. Look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees has more of the records.
If you put the two on equal teams, Drew Brees will win. If you just literally had a scrimmage where you're just switching the two out and assuming that they had the same level of consistency with these guys, Drew Brees is a better quarterback. He'll win.
The thing I think that Tom Brady has that not a lot of quarterbacks have is that same kind of that killer instinct that
you can't tell me Drew Brees doesn't have killer instinct.
Well, with Drew Brees, it's becoming a lot like he's not on that same level of success anymore. Winning wise, and that's the thing. It comes back with Tom Brady.
But Drew Brees is that guy who will come out there and just say, "I'm fucking better than you guys, and I'm gonna throw it all over you. It's not my fault. My team sucks."
Was it him or Matt Ryan that threw 5 picks in a game and still won? I think it was Matt Ryan who won it. Drew Brees threw the 5 against the Falcons and didn't.
Yeah, I think so. Sounds right to me.
One of them though threw 5 picks in a game and actually won.
I can tell you one guy it wasn't. Well, or it was that did it, depending on how you want to say it. Rex Grossman. That man knew how to throw 5 interceptions in a game and still win.
I can still see my father right now with Rex Grossman. I don't know why he's still in the game. The first drive of the series, you knew what Rex you were going to get. And that's my dad. That's my dad talking about
winning
Rex
Grossman.
And you knew what Rex
you knew you were going to get one
right
that would
away.
win.
I'm going to ask you this before we close up the podcast. Any last thoughts on this? Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, GOATs.
Both GOATs, without a doubt, in their own rights.
Totes McGoats? Are they
both Totes McGoats. These guys are both GOATs. Michael Jordan, I think, will hold up longer than Tom Brady will. I certainly believe that the debate will come back up when Aaron Rodgers retires, Drew Brees, whoever. The debate will come up. The debate on the basketball side really isn't a real thing.
Well, and I totally agree with you on that one. However, this one, it does come. It's kind of hard to beat 6-0.
When you just look at success, correct. When you just look at success,
a single one. Plus, like you said, has more of the records. However, we have said that basketball is a little bit different than football in the individual side.
Here's what'll settle it: can Tom Brady go out there and win the dunk contest?
Maybe
because Michael Jordan can.
Maybe
twice.
He could. Maybe he could. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you guys think. Will Tom Brady ever become the all-time sports GOAT over Michael Jordan? Let us know down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for checking out this edition of the Onside Kick. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast in order to support the channel more so that we can do better things for you guys, get a new camera, get new equipment to make the product better for you guys, the fans. Want to thank you guys one more time for checking out the podcast. And as always, have a good day, everybody. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the Onside Kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on, click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.